Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Friday. Welcome to the Electric Vehicle Shopping Guide. I've got with me today Kylie Morgan. I'm going to ask you, Kylie, to repeat your title with Plug-in America.
Great. So I am the Assistant Program Manager at Plug-in America, and I manage the National Drive Electric Week and Drive Electric Earth Day programs.
That's right. Kylie is the face of Drive Electric Week to followers of that. And that's what we're here to discuss today. Basically, outreach, electric vehicle outreach and education. And I'm also going to have you define Drive Electric Week for us because you are so involved. And I recently heard you add the word international to your definition. And we've seen that happen. So please go right ahead.
Yeah, so National Drive Electric Week is unique in the sense that it's the world's largest annual electric vehicle events campaign in the world. So it includes mostly events in the United States, but also events internationally. And each event is locally led, by local event organizers. And I think what's unique is that it facilitates neighbor to neighbor conversations about driving electric.
And, I say this a lot, but, sort of those of us in communications sometimes get these big ideas about how we need expensive campaigns and this and that. But I even asked Chris Payne not too long ago, like, what is the most effective thing to get people driving electric? And he said, Zan, it's one neighbor to the next. And I think that's exactly what Drive Electric Week is.
Exactly. And in addition to that, at these events, people get the opportunity to test drive the vehicles. And research has actually shown that that's a really big motivator in, convincing people to drive electric.
Right. That's really how all of this started. Mine's much greater than mine, but that I had that, real honor of, I'm going to get emotional, hanging out with, starting 20 years ago. And I remember Tom Saxton, I think was the first one who was a Plug-in America board member and huge driving force behind Drive Electric Week, but he was one of the first, along with some others, who said it's all about butts in seats, and I had the same experience too. I mean, something kind of magical happened. So anyway, so tell us about, I don't like the acronym, I have to say, but DEED, Drive Electric Earth Day. Tell us about that and how it came about. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. First, let's just talk about how, I'm sorry, I'm going to backtrack. So let's just define for those who have never been to National Drive Electric Week. Give me sort of the range of events. Some are virtual, some in person, some are test drives. What are some of the other ones like?
Yeah, so it really is a variety of events. Since the pandemic and starting in 2020, we started incorporating online events. And we had such an amazing group of volunteers and EV advocates that, we had more than 150 events in 2020, most of which were online. So that was a really, really exciting change. So going forward, events are both online and safe in person. Safe in-person events include test drives, EV owners who will just, talk about their experience, but also EV-related booths like charging stations or solar providers.
Right. And, it does make me think of some research that I'd love to see, and I don't know if you have, but if Plug-in America has seen, or measured a boost in EV sales after Drive Electric Week events.
That's the dream, right, is to connect those dots. Yeah. But, we have seen that every year during National Drive Electric Week, there are thousands of test drives. And research has shown that that's what gets people to buy electric vehicles. So I think that's the real indicator of the value of these events.
That's great. So that's the data to look at. And how and why did Drive Electric Earth Day, right? DEED, yes. How did that come about?
Yeah, so we noticed that many of our event organizers who participate in Drive Electric Week were also organizing EV showcases at their Earth Day, local Earth Day events. So we thought it would just be a great fit to start a national campaign and support these events. And, it ended up being a great success. Our first year was in 2019, and we were able to support 187 events in 44 US states and 5 countries.
Yes, that's what gets me so excited too. I think 2019, that what I read was that you were in every state, not Earth Day, but the big one, but same difference, in every state and 8 countries.
Yeah, for National Drive Electric Week. For pre-pandemic, for quite a few years, we had started reaching all 50 states and in many countries. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I know that equity, inclusion is very important to Plug in America and across the board in EV adoption. Excited to see within the last year that EV Hybrid Noir became a presenting partner of Drive Electric Week. And as a matter of fact, just this week, I read a study out of Humboldt State that sort of put us all to the test. And it's about, adoption in disadvantaged and underserved communities. And one of the researchers concluded that education is great and imperative, but it's not going to overcome infrastructure barriers. Bottom line, we need more public chargers, of course, across the board, but particularly in disadvantaged communities. So what do you think about that?
I think that's a great observation. And, not only having those stations, but making sure that how you pay at those stations is also accessible. Some ways I've heard of that is making sure they all accept credit card readers or have a phone number to even, pay over the phone. So I think that's a big part of it. And I know that there's actually a coalition of utilities that's looking to install charging and create an electric highway across the US. So I don't think it's too far away that we'll have plenty of charging station infrastructure.
And I think it all has to start with education, because you're not going to get serious about getting a car, if you know nothing about it and you're not beginning to feel comfortable with it. And I think ride sharing is critical to all of this too, because that may fit a community best as it begins to learn about electric vehicles.
Yeah, equity and inclusion is such an important part of our campaigns and of, the electric vehicle movement, because, really everyone has a right to breathe clean air and save money by using electric transportation. So at local events, we're always encouraging people to showcase used EVs, electric buses and scooters, and show the wide variety that's available. But not only that, to also reach out to communities in your area that maybe you're not seeing at your events. I think sometimes it can be intimidating to try new things, but a lot of great work in relationships and opportunities can arise if we really just get to know our community and make sure that everyone is involved and that our events are relevant to everyone in our community.
Fantastic. Do you try to push, do you try to push applicants, participants to go out of their comfort zone as you sort of just did?
Yeah, so one of the tips we give is try to, promote your event in multiple languages and have bilingual volunteers. Especially if you have, for example, a large Spanish speaking community in your area, but you don't see them at your events, we encourage you, reach out to a local organization that represents those individuals and see what you can do to make your event relevant. I think our country is made up of so many different communities. And really the most important thing we can do is not to assume that we understand, what those needs and values are within that community.
That's a fantastic idea. Rather than thinking we sort of have to figure it all out ourselves and bring a big crowd ourselves, is to sort of go somewhere, kind of like on social media, where it's already got a large following and an understanding, and piggyback on and collaborate with something that's already established.
Exactly. Just talking to each other, listening, and coming together and creating an event and an electric transportation movement that is accessible to everyone.
And I loved what you said too, that of course it doesn't have to just be cars. It can be electrified mass transit, for instance, buses.
Exactly. Yeah, I took public transportation in Los Angeles for many years, but that was, my primary form of commuting. And, I would just love if when I was boarding a bus, I didn't have to breathe in nasty fumes every time. So even if you don't own a car, electrification still has so many benefits.
Right. What is the most unusual Drive Electric Week or Earth Day event you've come across?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, there is one that's located at a raceway, and they invite EV owners to take their car onto the racetrack, and race it. So it's totally safe, it's in the right environment. But it's definitely an exciting way to educate about EVs.
Wow. Whereabouts is that?
I believe it's in Virginia.
Do you know if they've signed up for an Earth Day or this year?
I think that's mainly a National Drive Electric Week event. So look out for that this year.
Yeah, fantastic. And please give us the dates for Earth Day, Drive Electric Earth Day, and how people can put on their own event or attend.
Got it. So Drive Electric Earth Day is actually the whole month of April. So if you're, if you have an EV event and it's happening in April, go ahead and put that on our site and we'll support you. We offer lots of free training templates and also event materials if you order those by February 25th. But to register an event, you just go to the volunteer page and follow the steps on that page.
Right. So really just Google Drive Electric Earth Day, plug in America, and from there it'll be easy.
Exactly.
Awesome. Anything else? Any thoughts at all on either of the two events?
I guess I would say even if you're not organizing an event, please attend whether you're an EV owner or not. There are really unique events in that you get to meet people in your community who are ready to talk to you. They're really passionate about electric vehicles and they're ready to share that knowledge with you. So you can learn about EVs, but you can also just meet new people and make new friends.
We should start a dating site, don't you think?
Yes, EV owners and non-EV owners. Yeah. Come together.
Anyway, fantastic. Thanks so much for your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.